Hello. So today I'm going to be talking about confusion. Today I was very confused, first of all. And second of all, I've gotten some questions from some people being like, I'm really confused, I'm really lost right now. And the first thing I suggest is to meditate, and they'll be like, oh, I do that, but then my thoughts are all like, ugh. So, yeah, I was just thinking about that, and then today I was experiencing a lot of confusion. I woke up and I was just like, like aimless with my ambition, like too many worries made it unclear for me to know exactly what type of action to take. So I'm like, okay, during my son's morning nap, I do my self-care ritual, which begins with meditation. And then I just kind of go from there, just intuitively do whatever I need to do. So I thought I would take you guys through how I worked out how I started meditating, being confused, and I ended up with a lot of clarity. So for this exercise, I always use workbook because I find it the most helpful, and it gets it out of my system most permanently when I'm able to channel my thoughts and write them down. It just feels organized and out of me. So I set up my altar. I did candles, crystals, coffee, chocolate, put music on, I lit incense. My altars, I guess, aren't like super traditional. I just keep the things that I need and like close to me. So that was my altar. And then I took a couple deep breaths and really tuned in to myself and asked spirit and myself, my higher self, to guide me towards my solution. So sometimes if my thoughts are too jumbled up and I don't even know where to start, I start with movement. So if I'm sitting down, I can do like, as I breathe, just like stretching. And if sitting down isn't enough, I get up and I start doing some yoga positions, like nothing fancy, just literally what feels good. Stretch whatever feels tight, because usually the body holds on to our stressors in those tight spots. So if your mind is too confused to know where to start, let your body start. Don't stress your mind out with having to figure out what to do first, right? Your body can be a leader even for your mind. So I started doing some movement and just, not thinking about anything in particular, and then the thoughts start coming, and they're worries. And usually people are like, oh, I'm trying to affirm, or I'm trying to be still, or I'm trying to think positive and manifest good things, but these worries start coming in. Well, if you're confused, that's perfect. That's what this is for. So as soon as I start to get the thoughts coming, like flowing, I write them down. And sure, they're negative thoughts, but they're there, so they need to come out. So I'll read you what I was doing as an example so that you can kind of follow, like, step for step. So I wrote, channel the voice of worries so that they get out of the way. I wrote down, I'm worried I won't have enough money to contribute to rent, which will cause other people stress. I'm worried about working too slowly and how my lack of time is impeding my work progress. I'm worried about needing and asking for too much help. I want to support myself. So these things that are worrying you, the next step is to flip them into affirmation. So once I wrote 3, that's all I had before I naturally went into the next step. If you have more, keep going. And so you'll be writing these and you'll be like, oh, that's not positive, but let's make it positive. Let's choose a new thought. So the new thought is, I support and respect my power. I let my power guide me. I have all I need for abundant success in all areas of my life. My affirmation right now, I have it on my wall of wisdom, is I am independent and enjoy taking care of myself. So when you write an affirmation for yourself, and it feels really like, yeah, it feels really good sometimes, and then other times it'll feel kind of like, I don't really feel that way. And that's awesome, because your own affirmations, you'll go through a love-hate relationship with them. And when you find yourself in a hate relationship with them, it's because they're calling you out on where you don't believe that that's true. So I wrote, I am independent and enjoy taking care of myself. And then I was thinking, like, where in my life is that not true? It wasn't like a conscious thought, it just kind of came in. And I had the realization, I still feel guilt and shame around taking care of me by means of having someone else care for my children. So, like, it's all good and fine when, like, now my son's asleep and I'm like, me time, I can do whatever I want to do, but I feel guilty when I want me time and I have to go and inconvenience another person in order to have that for myself. And I think a lot of parents can kind of feel like their child is a burden to other people because he's my responsibility. I made him. I brought him into the world, and now I'm kind of like, here you go. You know, it's like, I don't know. For me, I don't love it. But I love myself, and I want to love myself more. So I need to learn that. My mother also told me this. She's like, other people don't feel that way about your children. Like, your family wants to watch your children. They love your children. Your children contribute to the world. They're people, and other people need to experience your children as much as you need to not experience them, which is like so great, because I'd like to believe that that's true. So I'm working on absorbing that message and using it in my daily life. So I realized my guilt and shame, which was undermining my affirmation. Do my affirmation like this, and then this is how I write out my problem with my affirmation. What else did I do? I skipped ahead, and basically I kept going with, me having time for myself, for our future is caring, loving, self-respect. I deserve the time to honor my soul by honoring the gifts I was born with. I honor my gifts by helping the world with them. And then that's when the false belief came in that, my children are cumbersome. So there I am writing a new positive affirmation, but the part of me that does not believe it comes through, and that's the part you want. I know it's the part people are like, I feel that way, but it's like, well, once you know you feel that way and you write it down, just write it down, then it's gone. Then it's gone. I just trust that once I release something in this super physical way, that it's gone. Maybe it'll come up again, but I'll notice it like that. I won't just be stuck for so long on that same spot. So if you're into journaling, just trust that that'll happen for you too. At least give it a try, you never know. And so, I just go through this series of complaining, affirming, and calling out my shit, and then affirming, and then calling out my shit, and over and over again, until eventually you know what you've been worrying about this whole time. You get down to the core so quickly. This took me 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I was like, this is how I feel. Now I choose not to feel this way. I'm confused. Now I'm not. Now I know what was bothering me. So yeah, that's just a really good way to release confusion. And I hope this was helpful for anyone who is going through a lot of confusing times. Try out the confusion, affirmation, bullshit, journaling process and let me know what you think. Message me if that wasn't super clear or if you want me to go over something again, and I will. Okay? More to come on this. I think I'm going to do a confusion guided meditation, record one for you guys and see how that goes to add or enhance the process that you do by yourself, because you don't need it. But I created it sort of after I finished my meditation. It was just kind of like the nightcap, just like done. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it makes a difference.